Hey everybody, Off the Mic Sports Network here, another edition of Off the Top Rope. I'm not going to go in depth into what happened on Monday Night Raw, but a interesting story that has been going on in the internet wrestling community that stems over a timeline of the last couple of weeks of Raw. Elimination Chamber qualifying matches have been going on for the women and the men. The women's match is starting to fill up, and Io Sky faced Liv Morgan a couple weeks ago, right after Royal Rumble, and Io Sky notably lost her match via disqualification because Rhea Ripley got involved with Liv Morgan. And in a really awesome tag match between returning Dakota Kai and Io, Damage Control teaming up against Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan, Io wins the match, pinning a bloodied, and credit to Liv Morgan, a bloodied Liv Morgan. So that happens. Later on in the show, Rhea Ripley grants Io Sky a Women's World Championship match, not at Elimination Chamber. Not at Elimination Chamber. Or doesn't even try to get her a chance to qualify later on. She gives Io Sky a Women's World Championship match the Monday Night Raw after Elimination Chamber. So 2 days after Elimination Chamber. And I thought that was really interesting. Because if you look at the timeline of events that have occurred since the tail end of December, like middle of December, Saturday night's main event comes back from Long Island. Io Sky challenges Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship. Liv wins clean in that match. Then we go to, and this was leading to Rhea Ripley ultimately was going to get the next shot. And before that, Rhea and Io had shown a friendship because of the way they have teamed up in War Games, which Liv Morgan was also involved in. So then you go to January 6th and the Netflix debut of Raw. Rhea Ripley wins back the Women's World Championship. Then we get to the Royal Rumble. And Io Sky and Liv Morgan start the match 1-2. Io Sky does not win. I thought she should have won. But that's neither here nor there. Then we get to this the last couple of weeks. Io loses by DQ, is mad at Rhea. Then Io pins Liv in a tag team match, clean as a sheet, gets the pin, gets granted a Women's World Championship match the 2 days after Elimination Chamber. A match, the Elimination Chamber match, that Liv Morgan has qualified for. By the way, Liv Morgan has been in every single Elimination Chamber match for women since its existence in 2019. Or I think there's actually 2018, excuse me. So that's insane in itself. So credit to Liv for the level of participation that she's had in this. But I've come to a conclusion here about where the direction of this Women's World Championship situation is going to be sorted out. Charlotte Flair is not facing Rhea Ripley again. So let's just end that. We tried to dance around the issue. Charlotte was nowhere to be found on Raw tonight. So we can just dance around the issue. Jey Uso made the announcement. He's facing Gunther at WrestleMania. So Charlotte's going to face Tiffany Stratton. That's going to be the women's championship match on SmackDown. Okay. But then we get to what's going to happen with the women's world title. Because that's been a question ever since Rhea Ripley beat Liv Morgan. We thought we were done with this. But now something has happened here. You have a scenario where I think Liv Morgan's going to win the Elimination Chamber. A lot of people have pegged Bianca Belair. Bayley's going to be involved in this match. Roxanne Perez may qualify. Who knows? Maybe she might lose to Raquel Rodriguez. I have no reason to believe that Raquel Rodriguez is going to qualify for this. I like Raquel more than most people, but I have zero reason to believe that Raquel Rodriguez is going to qualify for that match. Maybe I'm wrong. And maybe they surprise me. I would seriously, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So Alexa Bliss is on the board. It's nice to see her back. I just can't see Alexa this quickly being thrown into a Women's World Championship match, let alone against Rhea Ripley. But if they wanted to shock us, that would actually be a really interesting move to go to, considering the pop she got at the Royal Rumble. But I think Liv Morgan's going to win this match in Toronto in a couple weeks. And what that's going to set off is a chain of events where you're going to have the match 2 days later, Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. Winner is going to face Liv Morgan at WrestleMania. What I think is going to happen, Liv and Raquel are going to get involved in that match to screw the whole thing up. No finish, bullshit, no contest finish. It's a great banger match between two of the best women in the division, and Liv and Raquel just completely screw the whole thing up. And that's going to lead to Adam Pearce making a match that is going to be a triple threat. Liv Morgan versus Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley for a triple threat for the women's world title. And a lot of people are going to be mad at me saying, Mike, you're blowing Bianca Belair would make a ton of sense here. Guys, the thought of Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley is great. The story's just not there this year. There's no need to force the match when you just basically, granted, you will have like a 2-month build, like a month and a half, 2-month build to get there because this is taking place in early March. But I just don't see a route that you can get to a Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair match on the stage that is WrestleMania. I just don't see how you can get there, especially when you still got the Naomi thing to sort out, who attacked Jade. They're still the tag team champions. There's just a lot on the board to figure out if you go with Bianca Belair. And a lot of people are going to be annoyed that Liv Morgan is still out there. But listen, you guys saw how great that tag team match was tonight. Io Sky's fucking incredible. Rhea Ripley's awesome. Liv Morgan has been outstanding in the last year specifically, and she's gotten really great over the last couple of years and really molded herself into really one of the better female performers, not just in WWE, in all of professional wrestling. So I think this would be an outstanding triple threat match. And, you know, in this scenario, I don't know who's going to take the pinfall. There's a lot of unpredictability here. I don't think Rhea's going to lose, but it creates an element of really, like, you know, surprise, and it differentiates the match from the women's side, because the last couple of years you've been caught up in, like, you know, doing just, you know, one-on-one matches. Why not have a triple threat between 3 of your best women on Raw, and then you have, you know, the changing of the guard type match, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the women's championship on the other side? I don't see a problem with that. So a lot of people have been tired of, you know, the Rhea Liv thing, but this Io Sky element that's been introduced gradually, really since War Games. It's really been introduced since War Games, but then Io gets the women's championship at Saturday night's main event, loses that match. Then Rhea gets the title back. Io was going to go win the Rumble. Io doesn't win the Rumble, and her and Liv started the match. Then, you know, Rhea inadvertently screws Io. Like, there's a lot of things here that tell me that there's some story that's being planted here by WWE. Clearly, there's a direction here. I don't think that they would throw this out here and specifically plan, hey, let's plan this the 2 days after they determine who the number one contender is going to be for assuming it's the Women's World Championship, but 2 days after the Elimination Chamber winner is crowned. So like I said, I think Liv Morgan's winning the Elimination Chamber. And then I think the result of that match is going to lead into the match on the Monday after. And ultimately, it's going to be a no contest, DQ, whatever. And we're going to get a triple threat match for the women's world title at WrestleMania. Because it's just like, we've already seen Liv and Rhea done to death. We all wanted Rhea and Io, but I guess they don't want to do that and have somebody get beaten. So maybe Liv is taking a pinfall in this match, in this scenario. And, you know, maybe that's how this gets sorted out. But to me, that was one of my big takeaways from Raw is I think we've seen a clear direction of where they're going for both women's championships. Because like I said, Charlotte not being there, that was a big reveal to me, first of all. And then secondly, just seeing the way that this whole thing played out throughout the show with that tag team match and everything that came before it in the weeks building up to, tells me that what we're going to get is a triple threat match at WrestleMania between 3 of the best women in wrestling. And if you're mad about that, I honestly think, listen, there's a really weird divide in terms of the IWC, in terms of like female professional wrestlers. There's a lot of people who love Rhea. There's a lot of people who oddly hate Rhea. There's a lot of people who love Liv and a lot of people who hate Liv. And pretty much universally, everybody loves Io. So I think everybody wins here. So if you're mad about this proposal, I actually think this is the best case scenario for everybody. And then when it comes to Bianca Belair, if you're mad about not getting Bianca and Rhea, which can happen at any point, Bianca's probably going to face Jade, or Jade, or it's going to be something with Naomi. That's going to be awesome too. The women, I think, might have a real big chance to really showcase themselves at WrestleMania this year, especially with those mid card titles, the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Really big picture. One of my biggest takeaways from Monday Night Raw from February 10th. We'll have a lot more coming here on the channel. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.